acknowledge other nominees for their outstanding care and services as well, and that's Deanna Chafee, Alice Souza, Shayna Brown, Lori Smart, Gert Ryder, Kelly Steary, Diane Sheehy, Kathy Boussiere, Rebecca Haggerty, and Cynthia McDonald. And I think we're very fortunate for not only having these wonderful staff members, but all of the LNAs that we have servicing residents.
Who sits on a nominating committee?
The LNAs nominated this year.
They do?
They did. We had boxes put out, and they nominated who they thought represented the attributes of a role model. Next year, we are opening it up to residents as well, because we'd like to do some, their peers, but also the residents, to have a different faction in the party.
Good.
Yesterday, we had a disaster drill. It was a great drill, and we certainly found it a very good educational event. So what we learned from that drill, we will be educating staff.
Could you go into a little bit more about what took place?
Sure.
Were outside agencies involved, strictly in-house?
Strictly in, well, outside in the is what we did is we tested the ability to move residents beyond the smoke barrier, the 2-hour smoke wall we have.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was that there was a fire on the corner of 171 and County Farm Road. So the smoke involved the Mount Chicora area, resident area. The residents in that area, a drill or alarm was sounded. We started as a code red, which is a fire. The residents were moved. First of all, when you have a code red, you put your residents in your room, the room. Then the play went out that it was too much smoke, so we moved them beyond the smoke barrier. We checked all resident rooms, so it was a search to make sure that all residents were moved.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we started to call bus companies. So that was the Governor Wentworth School District as far as other ambulance and wheelchair vans. Then we also, in concert with that, we also called local nursing homes to find out what the bed availability is if we needed to move the residents to a bed. Now, the primary staging area was beyond the smoke barrier. Also, the issue is if we had to move the residents to a secondary staging area, that would be the town hall.
Ossipee Town Hall.
Ossipee Town Hall, the administration building, and the farm over there. But if we needed to go further, we found out that there were at least 30 beds that were available at that point to move residents into those beds. We felt as though that it was the first time that we actively practiced a drill in the new nursing home. We've certainly done tabletop drills. We found it was a great learning experience. Did we find some glitches? Oh, yeah, we did, and it was in real time. So we felt as though that staff will be educated as far as that's concerned. But the drill went on for about an hour.
I was just going to ask you, how long did it?
About an hour.
Oh.
It was not planned to disrupt resident care.
They knew about it ahead of time?
No one knew about it. But if there was an issue that we would not have moved the resident. But again, they worked with us, and it was a good drill.
I'm just curious. I don't want to put you on a spot, but if you move the residents to one end of the building, can you get them down the stairway? I mean, let's say the elevator's not working. How do you?
Well, we have elevators at either end of the building.
Right.
So
let's say they're all not working.
Then in that case, hopefully the fire department will be there to help us get them down the stairs. But that's such a redundant possibility because we have 3 elevators, 2 at one end and 1 at the other, with that fire barrier in the middle. If one set of elevators is not working, the other ones should be.
In our plan, we are not to use the elevators.
Right.
But in the development with the Ossipee Fire Department and the State Marshal's Office, if the fire department deem it appropriate, we can use the elevators. And then I said to Adam at that time when we were working, and I said, what if? And he said, we will be there to assist you. So again, we are moving residents we're not looking at yesterday's plan, but if there should be a fire in one household, we're moving them from smoke compartment to smoke compartment. So in Mount Chicora, we're moving them from one household to another household. And then if we feel as though they need to be evacuated, then they go beyond that smoke wall,
Yeah.
firewall. So again, we have several
There's
layers to that
multiple
plan.
layers before the residents would ever have to be moved downstairs
Okay.
manually.
One of the things that you said that you did under this disaster drill was to find and locate buses or vans that had availability for wheelchairs. Did you also contact the Blue Loom?
No, we didn't, and what we felt as though one of our suggestions is that we can actually build upon what we have for a list as far as, and Blue Loon is an excellent example of, we can build upon that as well as build upon other nursing homes or areas where we could be moving residents within our area. So we will be building, and this is certainly the reason why we continually review our plan.
And we did find adequate transportation. It was just the phone calls that we made.
Yeah.
There was enough transportation for the amount of people that would have to be moved. So
But-
if we needed to go further, we could.
But school buses, are they handicap accessible?
Some of them are, but most of them aren't. But we have other handicap accessible
Is the Blue
vehicles.
Moon handicap
Yep.
accessible?
Yeah,
Yep.
Blue Loon is.
All
Yeah.
of them are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
All the buses on the Blue Loom
we'll do that.
Mhm.
are
Yeah.
handicap accessible.
Okay.
So again, we will be building upon that. Our piano bench,
Oh, we
which
were discussing that.
created some interest. We have 2 pianos in our nursing facility, and we have a piano stool and a piano bench. The piano that we had, the piano bench that we had, it was a well-seasoned piano bench.
Nice.
It had gone through many repairs, went to our maintenance department, and maintenance department said it really has been repaired too many times, and we are unable to repair it again. We have a wonderful musician, Mr. Earnshaw, that comes in weekly to play the piano, and we afforded him the stool that we had for piano stool as we were looking into getting another piano bench. And he felt it was a shame that, that he didn't have the bench, and certainly thought that he could assist in looking into it. But Susan in the recreation department, we were actively looking to see how we could replace the bench. We'd like to thank Mr. Earnshaw for his efforts, and also Mr. Dave Mason, who donated a new piano bench on on Monday. It arrived, it's lovely, and we are very happy. So with that.
Where is Dave Mason from?
I knew you were going to ask, and I can't tell. I don't know offhand.
Mason and Mason?
I don't know.
That would be Jackson if it's the
Yeah.
one I'm thinking about.
I will get his
Name
address,
is-
obviously, but we were going to be
name is
sending him.
familiar,
a note.
just
Thank
trying
you,
to-
no, yeah.
We're going to, but
Place it.
very nice, and I'm sure that those that sit
How
at that,
how did he hear about it? I'm just sort of
That there was a
curious.
newspaper
There was a
article.
letter to
Okay.
the editor in the
Yes.
newspaper.
in the
Yep.
article, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
That's what Kathleen Mahoney was referring to before.
Yes.
okay.
We had a garden meeting last week. We were very fortunate. We had the farm crew as well as a member of the garden committee work the soil and put in more topsoil in the back of the building and put in mulch to prepare our rear garden for planting. We're hoping to have a planting party Thursday the 14th at 9 a.m., again on Saturday the 16th at 9 a.m. And that's moving old, they're not old, well I guess they are, but some of the plants from our old nursing home into our new bed, and hopefully begin to add color around to the nursing home. One of our residents planted in the raised beds, and that was on Friday, so that has been accomplished.
Planting tomatoes, I believe, when I drove by.
We have tomatoes, cucumbers, summer squash. There are a few pumpkins that need to be planted, and then he has some flowers, which I think that they're marigolds and zinnias.
Room for all of that?
Yeah, in the 3 beds.
There's
Yes.
3
Oh,
beds.
3 beds.
3
Yeah.
beds.
How many residents are involved in that? Any idea?
There's actually one resident that actually plants that garden, but many residents come by and remark and chat about, and reminisce about the garden itself.
Mhm.
We also have another resident who will be planting containers, and we've had plants donated. So container planting will start this week into next week, and those containers will go on to the neighborhood gardens and around the building
Yeah.
to add color.
And you got one of those raised beds with,
No.
no?
I think that there was a thought of having herbs in one of them.
Herbs, that's what I'm trying to think of.
And the three raised beds that we currently have, residents had already made a list of what they wanted to be planted. And, you know, as you grow older and are in an environment, you want residents to have as much control as they have. And, you know, we can suggest, why don't you plant herbs or whatever, but I think the issue is it's really important for them to have control, and they had made, but the one gentleman made a list, and I brought him out, and he picked what they had wanted in their garden, and so that. there we
Okay,
are.
you got some pictures of him planting?
Oh, we'll have pictures all
All the
summer
time.
long.
Okay.
Yes,
Put them up on a board somewhere in the nursing home?
yes.
And on the website.
And on the website, right. Okay. Anybody got any questions? No? Go ahead, Jeff.
I offer still stands about meeting with your staff.
What we're trying-
Regarding to what's available from transportation.
What we're trying to do is find a date and a time.
It
and
might be
certainly-
helpful if both of your staffs and verify.
All right, thank
good
you.
call. Thank
Yes,
you.
Damon?
As you know, we talked about this harassment complaint that's gone to the commissioners
Yeah.
regarding the nursing home. I just thought maybe Sandy could address the points generally. I know it didn't come to
No,
her.
Not
no.
now.
No,
No?
That'll come from the attorney.
Come from the, okay, thank you.
Yep.
thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Jason?
Morning, Commissioners. This morning, their population is 53 in, 1 weekender, 9 transfers, 2 out on electronic monitoring, 9 on pretrial release, total population of 74. Took in 12 inmates last week, 7 were repeaters, and released 19. Repeater charges, 1 came in for a parole violation, booked 13 times in 9 years. 1 for DUI, possession of drugs in a motor vehicle, and transportation of alcohol, booked 7 times in 9 years. 1 for an electronic bench warrant, booked 2 times in 2 years. 1 for an arrest warrant, booked 2 times in 5 years. 1 for DUI in protective custody, booked 5 times in 11 years. 1 for an electronic bench warrant and fugitive from justice, booked 12 times in 8 years. And 1 for DUI, who was booked 3 times in 6 years. And just a reminder of the graduation for the New Hampshire Association of Counties Corrections Academy this coming Friday. It's going to be held at the New Hampshire Technical College in Concord. And then last week, or a few weeks ago, I'm sorry, I learned that our phone system, our in-house, our office phone system, is actually going to reach its end of life expectancy September 30th, and will no longer be supported by the vendor. They will support it, but the costs will be passed on to us because the manufacturer is no longer making any of the components that are in our system. With that said, I had a presentation in regards to upgrading our system. There's a couple of different ways we can do it. We can do a cable migration, which means that they put in a component that is serviceable and meets all the manufacturer's specifications. Or we can replace the entire system. The difference between them is about $1,600.
If we go with a complete new system, then it comes with warranties, guarantees, and things of that nature.
What's the bottom line?
Anywhere between 8,000 and 11,000. I told the person that obviously this something wasn't budgeted, didn't know of this matter, and we'll have to budget for it for next year. And then the increase will go from 11 to approximately 16,000. So that's just something that we're gonna have to kind of ride it out and hope for the best between September and December, but budget for a new system for next year.
Do you meet with the subcommittee of the delegation
We haven't met.
only at budget time?
Yeah.
I wonder if it might be a good idea. You got some issues of telephone,
Mm-hmm.
you got perimeter fencing,
Mm-hmm.
you got covering of the exercise yard.
Call a meeting.
I think it might be good to get a hold of the chairman and and let them know these are the things that will be coming up next year. Maybe they have some suggestions. Maybe they have some alternatives. I think it might be good to keep them informed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I just have one item for a non-public, which is a staffing matter.
Okay. Let me ask you, how many out-of-county inmates do we have?
In the facility right
From,
now?
yeah, from other counties or state?
I only want to say we had maybe, off the top of my head, five or six.
And they've got some of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We have 10 females in the house right now. How many can we hold?
19.
19 females,
Mhm.
double bunk.
Mm-hmm. We have 10 cells. One of them is an ADA compliant cell, so it's only single bunked.
Okay.
Everything else is all double bunked.
Okay. Okay. Anybody got any further questions?
I just, if you recall, I gave you a card by Dr. Candice McRae.
You gave me the information, ma'am. I never received the card. I
Oh,
apologize.
I didn't give you her business card?
No, you said you were going to get it to me, but you never
I don't
received
have it, I thought I gave it to you. Anyway, I got a call from her, no, that's not it.
Okay.
I got a call from her yesterday. I wasn't able to get back in touch with her, but she appears to be quite anxious to work with the department. So
Okay.
I will get you her number. Make sure that you have it on. I have it on my computer at home,
Okay.
and I'll send it to you so that you can get in touch with her.
Okay.
She'll be busy this week, so don't bother this week.
Okay. And Lieutenant Phillips is out at training actually, so something they can follow up on next week then.
Are we in a hiring process or not? Are we full
Yes,
as to
we're-
what you're authorized?
Yes.
Okay. I talked with Homegrown Lumber in Conway.
Mhm.
The other day I stopped in, he's a friend of mine. He's got some ideas on gadgets that could be very profitable if we had inmates assembling them.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the farm crew or if we had an advisor that could work with inmates in the where all the equipment is,
Mm-hmm.
that the stuff could be, he's got all the lumber, because it's all stuff that he has left over,
Mm-hmm.
that I guess is thrown out or is open to anybody who wants to pick it up.
Okay.
And he would offer to give that to the county if the inmates could assemble some of these things and maybe actually take the piece that he has and take measurements off it and even cut it out here on the facility. If that was the case, how many inmates could there be available, or what is the potential for inmates that could work in that category? Are these only the ones that are in for minor offenses
They
that
would
are
be-
already been trialed or pre-trial?
No, you'd only use sentenced inmates.
Only sentence?
Yeah, because you're talking about being outside the secure perimeter, correct?
No, I'm talking about in-house. They would do everything here.
Yeah,
In
but-
regards to milling the lumber, though, That
We
would
could
be-
mill it.
but we wouldn't have you're talking about bringing them to the maintenance facility. So being outside the secure perimeter of the facility, so you use minimum security inmates for that.
So how many people would there be, both male and female?
I have to look, I think.
4 or 5?
You're gonna be doing it during the daylight, so
Mhm.
you'd wanna you need people that are not presently out on the farm. So I can
Well,
get
this could be
with-
done in the wintertime.
Mhm.
I mean, could be done anytime, actually.
Okay. I can get with Lieutenant Phillips and see what we could have for a crew to do that.
Mhm.
I imagine a handful anyways.
Okay.
It would also work if we had veterans on the premise, living on the premise. They could certainly do it without any question.
Sure, yeah. He or his daughter are planning to attend the June 12th meeting.
Okay.
And since that is not a commissioners' meeting, this is your meeting,
Mhm.
this can be restricted as far as filming, or you plan on having a press release after the,
Yeah, I'd like to do
Meeting?
a press release afterwards.
Ed, you asked about filming the meeting on the 12th, I think next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, yes, sir.
They prefer to have it separately. There's a judge involved and a lot of other people that may not want to get
FaceTime.
public-wide knowledge. But there would be a press release that would come out after that meeting. You have any questions regarding that? I know it's not a commissioners meeting, so it's not 91A or that kind of a thing.
In order to inform the public better, is a way you can have a separate meeting, a gathering, like a press release, not just in the newspaper, but have a gathering to discuss what you came up with. That way, press conference. That way the public knows what happened in the meeting.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
way you can, gauge your response to the public,
Yeah.
so they get an idea of what you're doing.
I would think that once some of these initial meetings get completed and they've got something that they're really involved in, then maybe it could be a meeting whereby newspapers and yourself be invited to. But I think in order to get it going and get people feeling free to speak without getting it out to the general public might be beneficial in this case.
So you'd rather have a work session, basically?
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you came together and created a presentation of exactly what you're going to do, I think that would be
Yeah.
advantageous to
Yeah.
everybody.
okay. Because this is just, they had one meeting, not everybody was there. Hopefully they'll have more people there from businesses that might be able to hire inmates as they're being released. And it could go into drug courts, it could go many different ways, and they just started getting started, so. Is that satisfactory to you?
Sure, I think.
Is that satisfactory to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, not this time.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Eric has a
Just a quick question
Yeah.
about the jail, the prisoner's labor. Once they're released, have in the past, any of the guys that have worked on the farm used their experience here as like on their resume, or listed you or the farm managers as references and looking for work after they're released? Or would you guys be able to like vouch for them, or
We have
reference for anyone?
in the past help the people getting out establish a resume. One of the staff members actually sits down with them. We've had New Hampshire Job Works come in and do a presentation on how to establish a resume. So we are providing that type of training.
And maybe it hasn't come up, but anyone used the experience working on the farm here or maintenance, ground crew maintenance?
I'm not sure if they've put that on their resumes or not.
Culinary arts, when we had that one program,
Mhm.
there were two that completed, or two that were in the course.
Mhm.
Wally Campbell from up in North Conway was here during the, I guess you'd call it graduation.
Mhm.
And he gave out his cards to those inmates that had finished, saying if you're looking for a job, get in contact with him. So,
It seems like everybody that you mentioned that were booked, that it's not their first time. So
Yeah.
I think that if we can find work once they're released would reduce that.
Mhm.
well, that's sort of one of the things, the purposes of this committee that he's putting together, and involving CEOs or presidents of the different businesses to come in and hear what's going on so that they might be able to hire some of these people. Anyway, anybody else got any comments? Black box.
Yeah, that's that phone system.
Oh,
Sitting there holding it, and I give it to you guys.
okay. Good to see somebody within state. Yeah,
Yeah.
Manchester.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anything else? That's all you have?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, we got a couple of items.
May I ask a question?
We need to hire, no, stay right there.
Oh, okay.
We need to vote on hiring an attorney. And I'm not sure whether this is done in public or private. I think it probably could be done in public. Do you agree?
Hire attorney for?
For the investigation, for the grievance that was filed.
Is this it? I get this on my desk this morning.
No, that's to be signed, that
There's
is
something
for,
else? Oh,
oh, you know something, we've
So
got
what do you
that,
have then to sign?
I don't have it, I don't have the contract yet, it's supposed to be here
Oh.
today. A different subject, we've got some bids, or a bid for
The pharmaceutical services?
pharmaceutical services,
Mhm.
only one bid came in?
Two. One from Westwood and one from Diamond.
Okay. So,
And I'm not sure if our present vendor submitted an RFP or not. I know one was sent to them, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they submitted a bid for the,
when is that due?
well, it closed Friday, this past Friday.
Okay, one of them, well, both of them are sitting on my desk, the one that hasn't been opened,
Mm-hmm.
and the other two were put on each commissioner's desk
Mm-hmm.
in a loose leaf binder, right? That's Westwood?
Westwood,
So
yes.
Westwood, I
Okay.
can see the other.
I guess we gotta go down and get that box that's sitting on my desk, and open that. That one there is for physician services. When was that due to be
Is this for the,
effective?
is this for the doctor and the assistant?
Yes.
This is what is on my desk?
Yes. We just needed to sign that because the one that was in place originally expired in March. So
Okay,
we just had them redo it from March to the end of this year.
okay.
I didn't want to go on 6-month increments, I wanted to go on 12-month increments now.
Yep, okay.
So this is a new contract, huh?
It's the same people.
Same
a
people,
new
it's just a,
contract for
yeah,
years.
it's renewal.
March till December.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will read it. I just got it.
Okay.
How do you want to handle this, hiring an attorney to look into the grievance that came to our attention last week. It's been recommended by